In this video, we'll show you how to change the wheel hub actuator on your Ford F-150. You can find it on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Ford F-150 safely. Disconnect the ABS sensor cable from the brake hose. Disconnect the vacuum lines using a fork. Using a ratchet and a 10mm socket, unscrew the bolt, securing the brake hose bracket. Then move the bracket aside. Now you need to remove the brake system. Tip: attach a piece of electrical cable or a hook to the subframe. Using a socket wrench and a 21mm socket, unscrew the two holding bolts on the caliper mount. Remove the caliper assembly and hang it on the hook. Lift it off using a small crowbar as a lever. Then remove the disc. In our case, we used a complementary method, which consists of screwing two bolts into the holes provided in the disc. This effectively removes the disc from the hub. Disconnect the ABS sensor's power cable. To do this, use a small screwdriver to push the red locking tab, then pull on the connector. Then, use a fork to unclip all the clips that hold the ABS sensor cable in place. Using a ratchet and an 8mm socket, unscrew the bolt holding the ABS sensor cable clamp. Shift the ABS sensor cable to the other side of the brake system anchor plate. Remove the central wheel hub cover. You can use pliers. Then, locking the wheel hub rotation with a crowbar, unscrew the hub nut using a ratchet, an extender, and a 15mm socket. Hit the CV axle with a hammer and a pin punch to release it from the wheel hub. Brush the outer tie rod holding nut and spray it with penetrating oil. Using a 21mm wrench, loosen the outer tie rod holding nut. Hold the outer tie rod to prevent it from turning. You can use a ratchet and a 10mm socket to help you. Tap on the knuckle to release the ball joint. Finish unscrewing the nut. Then remove the ball joint from the wheel knuckle. Disconnect the vacuum lines. You must then disengage the upper control arm ball joint from the wheel knuckle. Brush the upper control arm ball joint retainer nut and spray it with penetrating oil. Tip: to avoid everything rotating when unscrewing, reinsert the outer tie rod into its knuckle without screwing it back in. Using an 18mm wrench, loosen the upper control arm ball joint nut and unscrew it a few threads. Use a ratchet and an 8mm socket to keep the ball joint from rotating. Then, remove the outer tie rod. Disengage the ball joint from the knuckle by hitting it with a hammer. The wheel knuckle is now free. Tilt the wheel knuckle to remove the CV axle. You can now see the vacuum hub actuator. Using a ratchet and an 8mm socket, unscrew the 3 hub lock actuator retaining bolts. You can now pull the CV axle out of the hub and remove the hub lock actuator. Then, wipe off the impurities with a paper towel. You can order the parts used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Take the new hub actuator. Apply grease to the wheel hub actuator. Insert the CV axle through the vacuum hub actuator. Then position the hub actuator in its slot. Then screw back the 3 hub actuator retaining bolts. Finish tightening using a torque wrench.
For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now.
Then grease the CV axle with silicone grease to facilitate insertion of the wheel hub. Reinsert the upper control arm ball joint into the wheel knuckle. Loosely screw the nut back on to hold it together. Put the outer tie rod back in place. Then screw it back on. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Use the jack to lift the wheel knuckle assembly to allow you to replace the upper control arm ball joint. Complete the tightening of the upper control arm ball joint with a torque wrench. Verify the correct operation of the assembly using the vacuum pump. Use the tool you can find in the video description. This is a manual vacuum pump, highly recommended for the installation of the new wheel hub. Connect the pump to a large diameter nipple, then vacuum with the pump. This causes the wheel hub lock actuator gear to be drawn in. In these images, you can see how the wheel hub lock actuator operates. When your vehicle is in rear-wheel drive mode, the vehicle's vacuum pump operates and the hub lock actuator gear is drawn in, effectively disengaging the wheel hub bearing transmission. When the vehicle is in four-wheel drive mode, the vacuum is switched off, the hub lock actuator switches on, and the transmission connects to the wheel hub. You can now reconnect the vacuum hoses. Put the ABS sensor cable back in place, then screw the mounting bracket back on. Replace the ABS sensor cable in its slots. Then reconnect it. Replace the hub nut. Then, while blocking the rotation of the hub with a crowbar, screw it back on. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Put the cover back on the nut. You can use a plastic mallet. Then, clean the wheel hub with brake cleaner and a paper towel. Reinstall the brake disc. You can now reinstall the caliper assembly and screw it back on. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Don't forget to remove the cable that you used to hold the caliper assembly together. Put the brake hose back in place. Then screw the mounting bracket back on. Reconnect the vacuum lines. Replace the ABS sensor cable in its slot. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put the car back on the ground and block the wheels properly. Operation complete.
Quality parts, priced right.